Please welcome Olympic four-time gold medalist, Lenny Krayzelburg.
So I was given a hard task this afternoon following two pretty incredible stories. So I will do my best to live up to, I guess, the expectation or keep the pattern going here. Well, first of all, I'm very excited to be here this afternoon. It's definitely a tremendous honor to see so many people in the room and getting behind this incredible event. I found out about it about 4 or 5 months ago, and being here in person, it's pretty impressive. So my story starts in the former Soviet Union. I was born in Odessa, currently Ukraine, and definitely in a city that didn't have a large Jewish community. Judaism wasn't something we talked about a lot, wasn't something you spoken, at home, wasn't something you spoke at school about. But we, as a family, were very proud, to be living in Odessa. At 5 years old, my father decided to have me start swimming. Something I didn't know much about, but he really wanted me to be in athletics. So he enrolled me in a Soviet sports system where I can try and learn how to swim. It was definitely a interesting experience. I certainly enjoyed it right away and really liked the environment, but it was also a bit awkward for me because I was the only Jewish kid on that team, and even at 6, 7 years old, you could already hear the names, bad names that I was called being Jewish, and kind of being alone in that environment because you just didn't see too many Jewish kids in athletics. To this day, this isn't something that we're getting better, but certainly 30 years ago, that wasn't the case. But I really did fall in love with the sport. When I was about 9 years old, I was selected in a special group of kids that the Russian Soviet system felt that had a potential to be successful. And it was certainly an interesting choice because, again, being somewhat of an outcast as a Jewish kid in a Russian sports system, that didn't happen much. But I did get selected, and it was pretty incredible opportunity, but yet a lot of stress. I was 9 years old. I was already training 5 hours a day and mixing school in between and lifting weights. I mean, it was a pretty incredible experience, but I did excel in it, and I enjoyed the challenges and enjoyed the expectation. When I was about 13, my family finally decided to move to the United States. And we went through the whole immigration process, going through Vienna and then Italy and on to the United States. And one of the organizations that is involved with this event, HIAS, was very instrumental in supporting our family coming to Los Angeles, and certainly helping us in the first year of our stay there with financial support, as well as helping our family to settle in there. I started to swim at the Jewish Community Center in Los Angeles, and this was really didn't have a lot of expectation at that time because everything was so new country, new language, trying to fit in at school. A lot of things were just very foreign to us as a family, but we've always had a very close-knit family. My parents were always very supportive of my aspirations and dreams. And this was also, the JCC was the first time I really had an opportunity to get exposed to Judaism, because I didn't really have that experience in Soviet Union. And then I got a chance to go to a few months later, I got a chance to go to the Youth Maccabiah Games. And it was an incredible experience where you saw about 1,000 kids from all around the United States coming together, all Jewish kids coming together and celebrating sports as well as Jewish heritage, as well as talking about what it means to be Jewish, and it goes beyond just athletics. It's it's being proud of our heritage. It's getting involved in things that went beyond sports, and certainly community events that we were doing that during those games really stuck with me. I went on afterwards to go to USC. I got a scholarship at USC, and it was a pretty raw swimmer when I got there. But eventually I ended up excelling tremendously at USC and becoming one of the fastest swimmers in the world. By the time, a year before the Olympic Games in 2000, I was actually, I won world championships and broke all backstroke world records at that time. And thank you. It was quite a rise in a pretty short period of time, in about 8 years, coming to a different country to being one of the top swimmers in the world and being one of the favorites going into the Olympic Games. And then the Olympic Games was definitely the year leading up to the Olympics. The 2000 was a very nerve-wracking and stressful experience. My story was well talked about in the media. About my roots coming from the Soviet Union, being Jewish, and being able to be on the verge of achieving greatness in our sport, and that's winning at the Olympic Games. And I felt that I held the pressure pretty well. I qualified for the Olympic team, and then on the eve of the first final in Sydney, there was a 24-hour window. I just sat there and I thought about everything that I went through for the past 10 years by that time, and all the expectations that are upon me, and that tomorrow night in the finals I have to be good for 54 seconds. Whether I ever have that opportunity again, I don't know. And the magnitude of that really freaked me out. I just knew there were so many people were expecting me. It was just an overwhelming experience to go through it. But fortunately enough, I came through and was able to win my first gold medal eventually a few days later. Eventually, a few days later, followed up with another 2 gold medals. At the end of the Olympics, I was approached by, at that time, Mayor of Jerusalem, Olmert, and invited me to come to the World Maccabiah the following summer. And that was something that I really wanted to do my whole life. Unfortunately, in years past, I really did not have the opportunity, but I felt in 2000 I achieved everything I wanted to achieve. And this would be something that I felt it would be important to me. Go to Israel, learn about the country, and share the experience. And I decided to forego World Championships so I can go to Israel and, be there and share the heritage that I was so proud of. Unfortunately, right in September of 2000, the Second Intifada started. And there was a tremendous conflict going on throughout that whole year. And then in June of 2001, I'm sure many of you would recall, there was a huge bombing at a nightclub in, I think, Jerusalem, maybe Tel Aviv. And many young kids died. And it was about 6 weeks prior to the Maccabiah, and there was talk of actually canceling the games, which was going to be pretty tragic because for Israel, the World Maccabiah is a huge event for the whole country. And, there was obviously a lot of people around the world were concerned and were thinking about not letting their people go to the games. But I was pretty adamant that I gave a promise that I would hold to that promise, and I would go there and support, obviously, our U.S. delegation. And, of course, our U.S. delegation always sends the largest team there. And we felt that we needed to be there, support Israel at such a hard time. And fortunately enough, we still ended up having a tremendous turnout, going to the games. And one of the more prouder moments that I will remember for the rest of my life is having an opportunity to carry the U.S. Flag into the opening ceremony and leading the U.S. team for the games. It was a special moment ranking there with winning my gold medals, because it was a lot more personal to me. Being there during hard times, seeing how much the country got behind, the games, how much they appreciated the worldwide support of during hard times in Israel at that time. I went on to compete in another games in 2004 in Athens, Greece, where I was also excited. I was named a captain of our U.S. Olympic team, which was a tremendous honor for me. Growing up in a different country and now leading the U.S. team to the Olympic Games. I have since retired from the sport, but I have continued to stay involved. I'm involved with Maccabiah USA, trying to promote the message of sports and youth, and being able to share the message that does go. It's more than just sports, and it's the involvement. It's being able to help in the communities that is so vital within our culture. One of the most proudest things that I've accomplished is what I currently do. One of the phases in Talmud, or one of the saying in Talmud, is a father is supposed to teach their children how to swim. So what I've started 7 years ago is Lenny Krayzelburg Swim Academies. I have a partnership with Jewish community centers across the United States, and we currently operate our programs in 6 JCCs around the country, but trying to stay true to the message and try to give opportunity to the kids to be water safe and give them a chance at life. And most importantly, what I, throughout my journey, it's been that I finally, through so many years, got a chance to get closer to my Jewish roots, which, as a kid growing up in Soviet Union, I didn't have. And the opportunity that was given to me, but so many by allowing us and supporting us in this country, give me that chance. And I don't know that many of you guys here today understand the importance of helping, talking about, and supporting others that are in need. And I thank you for that, and I look forward to continue my support.